Everybody, welcome back into another edition of the Coach Sam Adams Show, and we're thankful to have the opportunity to do this show each and every week at Kia of Anniston and Oxford. Those guys have definitely been really supportive of athletics all throughout the state of Alabama, especially here in Oxford, Alabama, and Anniston, where their store is located. So if you're in the need of a new car, please come see these guys, or you have a car and you're just wanting to possibly see what your options are, come see the guys here at Kia of Anniston and Oxford. Coach, last week you and I talked. We knew going into last week the 6A playoffs is not for the faint of heart. You played in a tremendously hard region that prepared you for this. You had an unbelievably hard non-region schedule as well. And then this is why you do that. You go into the playoffs and you think, hey, we're hosting. We should have an easy first round. That's not the case. Athens rolls into town, but you guys got out of there with a 45-27 victory. Take us back to last Friday night, Coach, and how all that transpired.
It was a super gutsy game from our guys. We had some guys that had been big contributors for us all year long that were either out or limited in their availability, and so we had several guys step up for some of them the first time on a Friday night. It's kind of one of those all hands on deck kind of wins. It was an extremely tight game, and we knew Athens was a really good team. They have weapons all over the place, really good quarterback, receivers, running back, and defense had been playing strong all year long. And the game went like we thought it would for the vast majority of it. We were at one point it was a 4-point game early in the fourth quarter, and then fortunately we're able to get another stop in there defensively, and then get a couple scores and kind of distance ourselves. But really the score probably wasn't a reflection of how tight the game was for the majority of the night.
Plus those guys, in any playoff scenario, they're fighting for their life. And that's a different kind of fight than just week 2 of the season or something.
Absolutely.
But I say that to say this, that even that game helped you prepare for what you're about to face, because you're about to face Frank Warren and Parker. And, we've had the pleasure to go watch them play a couple of times this year and last year as well. Talk about Parker a little bit, Coach, and what you've seen from them on film.
Well, they're a really good team. As talented as any team in the state. I think that's pretty safe to say. There's stars on the field everywhere at every position, all 3 levels of the defense, and and really the same on the offensive side. And we definitely got our work cut out for us. I mean, they do a good job of coaching them, and they put them in good positions, and they're giving up. I think 12-ish points a game right now on the season, and scoring, up close to 40 or so. So they've had a really big year. Only the one close loss to Pleasant Grove, and a 2-point conversion right at the end of the game. They've played a handful of tough teams and come out on top in all the other times.
Yeah, Coach. One good thing about you is you have a great equalizer. You guys play great defense, and you have a calm, steady quarterback that gets you into the right plays and gets the ball out where it needs to go. Talk about how important it is for you guys to get off the field and give Mason Mims and that offense a shot this week.
Yeah, this is really any time in the playoffs. You got to be able to handle momentum swings in the game. They're as talented as they are. We can't really expect them to never make a play in the game. I mean, that's just not going to be realistic. You just have to understand, anytime you're playing against good teams, that they're going to get theirs at some point in the game, and then you make a decision how you're going to respond to that. Are you going to rise up to the challenge, or are you going to let it affect you for longer than it should? The same thing, we're going to make plays too. And then we got to be able to handle the success on our side and understand that every single snap of the game has a life of its own, and whether the previous play was good or bad, the next play is always the most important one. And it's going to be an absolute war on Friday, and it's going to come down to probably a handful of plays in the game that'll decide it. And we just have to make sure that when those plays come up, that we're in the right position and playing with the effort that's required of us to hopefully get the ball to bounce our way.
Coach, we rewind the clock when you arrived in Oxford. You know, you were dressed in the old field house. You've been sitting in, well, I ain't gonna say sitting. You've been working in a trailer for over a year, and you had 20-something guys graduate that year. Some guys transfer out. From then to now, how proud are you not only of your staff but your guys and the community for hanging in there and getting you guys in a situation like this where you're playing an elite team, but you know you guys are not really an underdog. I mean, this is a Goliath versus Goliath that we're going to see Friday. All that transpired in a short period of time. Now you're sitting here with this beautiful new facility on top of all that.
Yeah, I mean, it's really a testament to our community and the families of the kids that we have on our team now. You know, because it's been well documented that it didn't get off to the greatest start in several ways, but even that the first year we're able to win a region championship. Last year. Moving into a tougher region, first round playoff exit, which is definitely not good enough. You know, there's some teams out there that would love that opportunity. But we'd like to stick around a little longer than that. And then this year, I mean, we're a top 10 team, have been for the majority of the season. I think we were maybe number 7 or something like that on the last poll that came out. And number 2 seed out of our region, and a 9-2 record and all that. So I mean, regardless of all the things that have transpired in the previous 2 seasons here, I mean, our program is not just surviving. I mean, we're thriving.
That's
and
right.
I think most teams and most programs in the state, 1A through 7A, if they look at what we've got going right now at Oxford, that people want to have what we have. And that causes it brings a lot of positive attention. That also brings out a lot of haters as well when teams want to have what you have. So, we're proud of what we're continuing to work toward. We're proud of the kids that we have. And you don't get there without good players and good families that support those players at home, and good community support for the whole program.
Dale Earnhardt said it best. He had 2 great quotes. His first one, I know you're probably familiar with one. His first one was, all press is good press, whether it's negative or not. He said, at least they're talking about you. And it tail ended with his other great quote, which is, if they're not talking about you, that's when you need to worry.
Yeah,
because
that's
that
right.
means they got you right where they want
That's right. I remember watching the Hard Knocks back at the beginning of the year with the Jets, and they kind of had a little deal going on with some people chirping about them and all that. And their head coach, the way he said it was, "You ain't got no haters, you ain't popping."
That's right. That's true.
True. But yeah, we think we got a lot of great things going on at Oxford, and we'll continue. I mean, and it's always, the construction on the building may be done, but the program is always under construction. So
100%.
Hopefully this bunch is still playing for another 3 weeks after this week, and but then next year's team, whenever that process starts for us, that'll be a completely different team that has to be built from the ground up, just like this one was. So, but I think the guys we have right now, I think the number one of the things that stands out so much about them to me is that they play their guts out for each other and for Oxford every single week. There's no selfishness anywhere on this team. And you look at, if you just watch when we score a touchdown, it doesn't really matter who it is. All the guys on the team are celebrating their tail off for the guy, and they're not really worried about who gets all the action that week. And we spread the ball around a lot, but those guys have did a super good job of just staying unselfish. And really the same thing on the defense. Last week we were without Keenan Britt, who had an ankle injury in the Jacksonville game, and we had 3D linemen that went into it thinking they're going to play every single snap of the game, and one of those guys started having a hard time. We had to get, Jeremiah Edwards checking in toward the end, who's, maybe 170-ish pounds, soaking wet, and, over there in front of an Auburn commit offensive tackle who's got about 8 inches of reach on him and 100 pounds probably. And, and he went nose to nose with the guy, and never blinked. Same thing happened at some other positions. We had some outside line, but Daniel Becerra, checked in at the end of the game, and he's been, mostly a special teams kind of guy, and had a lot of successful JV games earlier in the year. but he's out there the other night with the game on the line and playing his butt off. So we got a team full of those guys. We have several guys that are stars and get a lot of attention, and that's rightfully deserved. But we've probably got 50 other guys on the team that most people don't know their names that go out and work their butt off every single day
and make you better at practice with good looks.
100%.
A lot of people don't know that. I mean, sometimes if you don't have a good scout look each week, it's hard to get prepared. And then when you get in the game and the speed's better and the tempo's better, you can be in trouble quick.
Mm-hmm.
2 quick questions and I'll shut it down. When you look at Parker's offense, everything hinges around their quarterback, number 12. He's a dynamic athlete. He can run, he can throw. Kind of starts with him, but they got a huge offensive line and they got weapons everywhere. What have you seen from them on film?
Well, the 12's been out for a little bit, and it's been 18. The kid that was at Pinson earlier in the summer.
I hadn't seen him since then.
Yeah, since the Mountain Brook game, I believe, was the first time that kid had played, and I mean he can really throw it. Probably throws it a little better than the kid who started the year. Definitely not the same dynamic threat to run the ball, but he can do that. But they're gonna have good size up front, and every team we play every week is bigger than us, so we're used to that part of it. Looking over and seeing a bunch of guys that outweigh us severely. Our guys in the box are going to have to absolutely go to war and fight tooth and nail for every inch that's given and gotten in that box, and they will. We've proven that. And that's what this past Sunday in their coaches meeting after practice. You look across at the team we're going to play this week, and a lot of teams, and there's kids over there that have got unbelievable offers. From the biggest schools in the country and all that kind of stuff. And we got a few guys that have some action like that, and but what we were saying after the way our guys performed against Athens is, it doesn't really matter who we're going up against and how many offers they got and the recruiting attention and all that kind of stuff. The guys we got are the guys that we need.
That's right.
Whether they're good enough to go knock those guys back 100 times in the game, I don't know. That's yet to be seen. But I know the guys that we'll put on the field Friday night will absolutely fight their tail off and leave it all on the line.
Another thing that they'll do, and they'll notice this, and I've seen it happen before, you get out there and do what you're supposed to do, and you have a successful game, you instantly become on the map. Some of these colleges, because they watch almost every snap with these guys they offer.
Oh,
and
100%.
they see somebody whipping their tail, then they can get an offer real quick, or they'll go on the radar real quick.
Absolutely. That's a great opportunity for our guys all the way around.
The number one X factor in this game, and just saying this because I've seen both teams play, is you got to keep your head on straight, and you got to stay within your game plan and play smart.
Yeah.
Because I've seen Parker play, and unfortunately, a couple times I've seen them play, they've had some real bad penalties, like drive killing penalties and drive sustaining penalties that where they'd be off the field on third down and they'd have a personal foul or something.
Yep.
It's going to be very important for you guys to keep your poise in this game, so to speak. I think you've seen some of that on film, and I'm sure you've addressed that with the guys.
Yeah, for sure. And truth be told, we've had our issues with that from time to time over the course of the year. But every single snap in games like this, and every single yard and every time the chains move, it's so important in November and December football, and you can't take that lightly. If it's really on both sides. If we find ourselves way behind the sticks, and, in first and 20s and third and longs and stuff like that, it's gonna be rough for us. And the same thing holds true for Parker as well. So, playing a disciplined game is definitely huge in every single game, and this was no exception to that.
Well, Coach, good luck to you guys. God willing, we'll be back here next Tuesday for another edition of the Sam Adams Show. And I think the only thing left to say is go Big O.
Go Big O.
See you guys later.